And greetings, everyone. Welcome to another CyberCast IRL. It is Friday, the 13th of this month of June. So I hope that doesn't mean anything bad for the stream today. Things will probably fall apart. I know I will. But welcome to the show. Thank you for joining me today. I'm glad everybody had a chance to stop by that has stopped by. It was cool being on Jawjacking with Jerry this morning. Always a good time to hang out with the Simply Cyber crew. They are like family to me, as you are as well. But yeah, it is CyberCast IRL time. That's where we're here today. A lot of people saying, you know, Happy Father's Day to all the fathers in the chat, because this Sunday, if I'm not mistaken, it is on Sunday, will be Father's Day. So very cool. If you got some kids, go love on them and hug them and tell them you enjoy being a father, because it is a very fun thing. I know I enjoy making. I was just talking to my daughter. She was taking care of her little brother, and I was like, "You're doing a great job." And she goes, "Thanks." I go, "No, thank you. Thank you for helping." She's such a good kid. All right, everyone. Let's see here. Welcome to CyberCast IRL. For those of you that are new to the show, if you're new, drop newbie in the chat. Say newbie. That way we know, we got some new folks in the chat. We can say hello to you. If those ride or dies out there see someone that says newbie, make sure you give them a good greeting for dropping by. We appreciate spending time. Everybody's time is precious. And the fact that you would spend it with me and us I'm honored, and hopefully everybody else is as well. So very cool stuff. I see Simply Cyber, Jerry Ozier saying, oldie. Indeed he is. For those of you that are new to CyberCast IRL as well, we like to do this little thing we call the morning pour. It is a highly anticipated event. And last week's morning pour, well, that was a thing to see, because normally, as you can tell from the fallen soldiers back here on the top of the amp, we go Monster here. I'm a Monster energy drink lover. People were telling me I needed to try something different, so I did. I tried Ghost Sour Watermelon, and I would rather have salt water than to ever drink that again. It was that bad. But this week, we're going back to basics. We have the camo cup. We have the ice. We do a little ASMR thing here. Oh, I almost... What color do you think it is? What color do you think? Real Bilbo says he's got a green one today. Space Taco says last week was pucker face sour pour. It was not kidding when it said sour, but it wasn't just that. It was weird. It was a strange thing. But if we're ready for the pour, today's episode is unofficially not sponsored by. I don't know if that cancels itself out. Monster energy drinks, 0 sugar, Ultra Sunrise. I thought we don't have an orange one up here, and it's summertime, so it is time. Is everybody ready for the pour? If you're ready, say pour, pour, pour. Right? All right, here we go. Let's get that crack. I get the microphone right at the right spot. Ooh, that wasn't too bad right there. It's almost like chiropractic sounding with the crack. And for the pour. This is harder than it looks. The foam is foaming. I'm losing strength. I had too much ice. Dang it. Oh, I had to stop. I had a little bit left. I didn't get a perfect 4. Oh, it is so foamy. So foamy. I gotta let that foam calm down. Are you hearing it? Is it good? Monster Orange Dreamsicle. I don't know that I have. I know I've seen one that is like a dreamsicle, but I think it was strawberry. But I haven't seen an orange one. I'll get to that. Okay, tap. And you see, kids, that's what the world is made for right there. That is how an energy drink should taste. It is flavorful. It is effervescent. It is delicious. It does not make my mouth feel like a box of sand. Oh, I'm going to get another one. Dude, that is tasty. Oh, you know what? I got a little bit left. I got to pour that in. We get like a pour 1.2. Not as epic, but still good nonetheless. All right, there it is. The morning pour. Got my tackling fuel. I'm ready. I'm set to jet. I'm feeling good. How are you today? All right, so now that that's out of the way and I'm feeling more myself, what we like to do here is this is kind of an AMA style, but if you have a cool comment or interesting resource, please feel free to drop that into the chat. If you want to specifically get my attention, you're going to need to @Daniel Lowry. Make sure you @ my name. And that way, I know a lot of people will say, put a Q in front of it, but I don't see that stuff very well. I'm old and blind. The red, background around my name text, and I'll show you what that looks like. Of course, I'm going to land on Lerat. Right there, right? You see Lerat says, to quote Daniel Lowry, that was a fine crack. That was a fine crack. It was it not? And so I can easily see that through the milieu of all the other comments. So if you really need to get a hold of me, make sure that you put that in there. And of course, we have the one and only Wayne's Real World right there. Kind of batting cleanup. I am but a humble pirate, and I do not see everything. I will miss things from time to time. Wayne is there to try to help me with that. So if he sees that I'm not catching on, that you're asking a question or trying to get my attention, he will emphasize to me. So thank you very much. He is cracking, Daniel. Yeah. With that, let's go to the chat today. Let's see what's going on. Check in with you good folks out there and see what we've got going. I always forget to do that. So, White Hat Sheepdog in the house. What's going on? Assuming with your shirt that you bought the Nintendo Switch 2. I did not. I am not that guy. I do not buy consoles that just, especially when they just come out. I'm too cheap. Just is what it is. So I guess it's a consequence of growing up dirt poor. We don't have the money to buy that stuff. So you waited until it was like much less expensive and you buy it secondhand and then you enjoy it. So, I mean, we literally just bought a Switch like 6 months ago. I got it for my kids and they kind of take after their old man. They play it, but they don't play it a lot. But I bought them little retro gaming consoles, some Anbernic ones. I think it's the RG28XX. I bought both my kids that are old enough to play video games. One of those, and they play retro games. Like my oldest, she's all about Pokemon games, and she finds all sorts. I think she's really into Animal Crossing right now. She played a few of the Harry Potter games. And then my middle child, she lost hers for a while, but has recently discovered where it was. So that was good. And so she'll be back to playing that. So no, I have not bought a Nintendo Switch 2. Let's see here. Abhay says, Simply Cyber Community Member of the Week. Oh, yeah, that's right. Jerry from Simply Cyber. You know what? I got to get let's promote Jerry. Got to promote the Simply Cyber. YouTube.com/@simplycyber, if I'm not mistaken. Let's do it. This is what's up, kids. You got to join Jerry. If you've somehow landed on me and never heard of Jerry Ozier and Simply Cyber, well, you are welcome, because this is something you're going to want to go check out every single day, because Jerry does a live stream every single day. He's got the daily threat brief, right, where he talks about cybersecurity news every single day. Really, really good stuff. On certain days, he has jawjacking, where he has panelists. You do Q&A. Kind of real fun, super fun. So definitely check that out. Thank you, Abe, for mentioning that. Jerry honored me with Member of the Week. It was super cool of him. I really appreciate that. So big shout out to Dr. Jerry Ozier. You big nerd. We love you. We do. We do. And we thank you for all that you do for the community. Let's see here. What else am I seeing? I see Carrie Chasen's dropping some personally identifiable information in the chat. But he says because he was born on April the 13th, that he has Friday the 13th birthdays. My sister was also born on a 13th. My father as well. So they got to experience that. And every time that came around, we got to make fun of them. Lerat says, morning, my fellow Star Trek motion picture fan. Somebody asked in Jawjacking. I was on the panel with Jerry on Jawjacking. They asked, what's a good movie? I watched any good movies lately? And I recently, which I hadn't watched in forever, watched Star Trek the motion picture. I was like, dang, this is a good movie. Like, it's just good. So if you haven't seen Star Trek the motion picture, yeah, it was made in like 79 or 81 or somewhere like a while back, but I think it holds up. I think it was a great flick. I think it was really good. Jerry said, cue the Andrew WK. It's time to party. Let's party. That's right. All right, let's go this way here a little bit. Apparently I made Centennial Gray fall out of their chair. Well, good. Hopefully it was with laughter and not with shock and horror. Let's see here. Pour. That's right. Lots of fun. Have you tried the Monster Orange? Okay, cool. We're getting to where I'm late, but didn't miss the pour, says Payload Payton. Very cool. Space Tacos. Oh, it jumped. I hate when the stinking chat jumps on me. So annoying. There it is. I'm happy your entire face is not puckering today. Yes, thank you. The pour was Gouda. Tech Grunt says, a man of culture. The morning pour. Not a bad Irishman, says Tech Ricky. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I like doing accents. They're fun. Of course, you get really self-conscious if you're around people that are from those areas, but it's still fun to do. Howdy, TG artists. Good to have you today. Victor Rosa, my CompTIA course certs expired a while back. Finally getting into some cyber talk. I've been in IT for 10 years. Should I go vendor from now on? Example, Microsoft 104, etc. So your CompTIA certs have expired a while back. Been in IT for 10 years. Should you go vendor? This is an interesting question. So I would say, think about what is going to be. So, did you say what industry you were working in? You just said you've been in IT. You're in networking in IT. You're at help desk in IT. You're at workstation support. You're in cloud admin. You're a sysadmin. Like, what in IT do you do, Victor? Because and then the other question would be, what do you want to do in IT? Do you want to go into cyber route? You're here. So I assume that is on the platter set in front of you. It is an option. So, that's going to be super helpful. So if you can give me a little bit more, maybe we can answer that. Vendor certs are always good, but if you go get, a Splunk cert and you're going into, Azure admining, you're probably going to be using Sentinel. So, you know what I'm saying? Like it really depends on what you want to do and where you want to go. So I'll give you a second to gather your thoughts, answer that, and I'll look at some more chats here and we'll come back to it. Ray asks, any advice on someone moving towards privacy? There's always a spectrum on how private you want to be. I'm curious how far you take it. It's a long road towards migrating everything. Yes. Privacy is a difficult thing to do in this digital age. everything is built to learn everything it can about you. So if you use just about any service, you're like using YouTube right now, right? That's all Google. Right? And Google, as we know, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, you name it, right? They're all doing some form of tracking. Every website is tracking, everything is doing everything. So you can go like super extreme, nothing but Tor, VPNs, and firewalls, and pie holes, and Unix or Tails, and everything's ephemeral, like nothing is static. You use a new email address for everything. You're using privacy.com for payments. You can go down the rabbit hole. There is a guy on YouTube, or he used to be on YouTube. I don't think he's there anymore, honestly. I think he got off of YouTube because YouTube was like, we don't like your content. But there was a dude on YouTube that I used to watch, and he was a privacy-focused dude. I haven't seen him in a while, so that's what makes me think he's off. Or the YouTube algorithm is like, no more him. That tends to happen from time to time. But so ultimately that comes down, for me personally, I kind of find some middle ground where I am a personality. I might even be considered properly a public figure. Which if that is the case, then I have less expectation for privacy than other people. But, encryptions and things of that nature, you can spin it up. You can kind of get going down the rabbit hole. I like it. You could go graphene on your phone or get one of these black phones. Somebody was asking today about phones, and what was the name of that phone? I can never remember it. It is called the Up phone. Let me grab that copy. This is just one of many that you can use. Paste, throw that in there. There you go. And let me do this. Paste. So we can take a look at this. I remember seeing this, and I forget where, but it was built or designed by the guy that created the Pegasus software, which is nowadays used by nation states to spy on their people or whatever the case is. Pegasus has become a bad thing, but he developed it as a tool for telcos to be able to easily manage and troubleshoot. You would call and say, hey, there's something wrong with my phone. And they would, the help desk assistant on the other end would be like, I'm sending you a link in a SMS message, click the link, and that would give them access to your phone, and they could just fix it for you. And then boom, they would be out. But when he left that company, I think then sold that to NSO Group, and now they use it for not great stuff. So you can kind of go down this road. If I'm not mistaken, the cool thing about this phone is like, excuse me, when you turn off the wireless, it literally disconnects the circuit from the wireless device. It's not like still there and being powered. It's just like really low powered and doing stuff. Like everything that you turn off, any antenna inside this thing that's connected, when you turn it off in software, it actually has it has like a physical button or something like that to literally disconnect the antenna from the circuit board so that it's not transmitting at all. It goes black. It goes dark. So yeah, that's kind of cool. All right, let's see here. What else is in the chat? Gary says, I know I shouldn't have put my birthday in there. Well, you didn't give us the year. You just gave us a little bit. But, I mean, if Mashal Khan was here, he would roast you in a nice way, in a loving way, to say, hey, don't do that anymore. He really, if you really want to go down the rabbit hole on privacy and stuff like that, you should really look into Mashal. Mishal, Mishalkaahn, I think is how you spell his name. Very cool stuff. Some people use the Copperhead OS on their Android to preserve their privacy. Thank you, White Hat Sheepdog, for that information. Very cool stuff. Payload Payton says Ghost Strats on YouTube has lots of privacy. Very cool. Let's see here. What else? I think Victor got back to me. Let's see what else we got here. Don't want to miss anything. White Hat Sheepdog says, is there a more automated way to delete your data from data brokers that you can recommend? What is that service that Jerry recommends? I forget off the top of my head. I don't have anything specific I could recommend necessarily, but just a Google search away. I don't want to Google that for you, but do your homework. Jerry does have a company that he recommends. I forget the name of it off the top of my head, but go watch some of his content or reach out to him and he'll answer that, I'm sure. Let's see. Oh my goodness, you guys are getting great. Okay, let's get back to Victor. He says that right now I am an all-around admin moving towards cybersecurity. Also have been against your previous employer or any other training platform. Work will pay for it. So if you're looking for certification training, that's where it gets tough. I don't know anybody that's doing certification training. Other than like LinkedIn Learning, Pluralsight, Udemy, the oldies but goodies. And no one off the top of my head. I shouldn't have done jaw jacking this morning. I'm already losing my voice. Dang you, Jerry. You got the best of me this morning. Let's see here. So yeah, as far as that goes, I don't know any training platform that I would necessarily recommend per se. Other than that, if you're all around IT, okay, you're looking to skill up, your certs have expired. You want to move towards cyber. Okay. Again, next question. Do you want to be a defender? Red team, blue team, purple team, threat hunt, DFIR, right? Ultimately, figure out what that is. And then from there, you've got a bevy of different certs that you could jump into to upskill that don't necessarily have to be vendor specific. And even within the CompTIA realm, right? Go get your CISA Plus and your Pentest Plus, or, go security blue team with BTL1, the blue team level 1 certification for that. There's TryHackMe. No, TCM Security. They have a blue team cert. They also have obviously the PNPT. So just depending on where you want to go, what you want to do, it's really specific. It's a very subjective answer. So the more information I know, the better I can help you answer that. Ray jumping in with some help for White Hat Sheepdog with Delete Me, Incogniti, etc. Never used them though. I'm not sure how actually useful they are. Right. Keith Lowry, or no, man. Yeah, I see what you did there. Your name is very similar to mine. And my mind just went, it's you. It's a brother, right? No, Keith Lowy. I think that's how you would say that. What's the best training to pass CCNA? I haven't had to do CCNA. For me, it would be probably the Cisco stuff, like the official Cisco stuff. Go to the Cisco Networking Academy. Right? Isn't that what we're looking at here? Let me look this up here. Cisco Networking Academy. Right? Yeah, bam. I will drop this link. Copy and paste. Booyah. There you go. Go sign up for that. There is free stuff. I think there's pay stuff. You get access to what's their simulator called? I'm blanking out on that. Packet Tracer. That's it. Packet Tracer. So very cool stuff that'll at least get you going. It's really good. And then what I did back in the day was I took Packet Tracer and I would build labs. I would create a narrative of, okay, I just got hired to a 10-person shop as their network administrator and systems administrator. They need me to set up, we've just rented out an office. They need me to set up the network with workstations so that everything is connected and they have access to the internet. So I would go into Packet Tracer. I would make the internet, which was just another router off in the distance. Then I would have our router. I would have a switch, or, maybe not even a switch. Maybe it was just like a hub, and then connect some clients to it and make sure everything worked and that I could ping through all the way through. Okay, cool. Now we're growing. It's 6 months down the road. Things have gotten a little bit bigger. We've hired on some more staff. We now have 15 people and we have different departments. Now I need to incorporate a switch. I need to create different VLANs, and I need to be able to route between different VLANs and get out to the internet. Boom. Okay, now another 6 months down the road, we've grown even more. We've got a satellite office. Now I need to be able to connect to that satellite office through a remote connection. Bam, now I've got 2 routers plus more VLANs, doing VLAN domains, doing all that stuff. Now I need to do switch port security. Oh, I need to do spanning tree stuff. And as the company grows and your narrative along that grows with, and of course you can use ChatGPT to help create those scenarios for you. That's a really good organic way to learn. I learned a lot doing it that way. Then I looked for other people because you can export your packet tracer, or at least you could back when I was doing it. You could export your packet tracer labs that you have built, and then other people could import it into their system. So there was like websites that I had found where people built their own packet tracer labs with purposefully like messed up. Oh, we're not able to ping through. Something's wrong with the connection from Office A to Office C. But you can go to Office B, but Office B can talk to Office C, but Office A can't. What's the problem? And then you got to fix it. So those are really good labs because that challenges your knowledge of how things are supposed to work. And then just getting really, really fast at being on the command line, because Cisco certifications, when they give you the simulator at the end, portion of your exam, you better be quick. You better be handy dandy with that stuff. So there you go. Hopefully that's helpful to you with your CCNA. Okay, what else do we got here? I'm like running out of breath. Carrie says, thank you for this. I can get back into the Cisco stuff again. I was trying this and someone said I couldn't use it, so I stopped. No, you just have to sign up for the Cisco Net Academy, and then you log in with your Cisco Net Academy and login, which is free. Let's see here. Wes Bryan jumping in the chat with Packet Tracer is free and allow simple drag and drop simulation. Yeah, it's a really great tool. Very, very useful. And then if you wanted to like move up in the world with that stuff, you could rent some time on actual routing and switching hardware. And that will cost you a little bit of money, but you get actual like hands-on experience with real equipment. Ray says, recently passed the CCNP and Packet Tracer is so limited once you need to configure BGP. Yeah, it's definitely more of a CCNA level device. For if you are getting past that into that CCNP level, you're going to want to get hands-on equipment or renting the equipment space, the rack space stuff. There you go. Let's see here. Outlaw 11 says, Jeremy's IT lab full of free training packages that is free and excellent. It comes with lab and packet tracers. In Packet Tracer for every topic and Anki cards. Very cool. Jeremy's IT lab. So everybody go look that up. If you're studying for CCNA, you're going to want to get your hands on that kind of stuff. Oh, let's see. All right. Let's see if I missed anything. I know I've kind of been on the CCNA kick. Super User Do says, made it. So glad you're here, Super User Do. Wouldn't be a show without you, honestly. Carrie says, I have seen what you are talking about. He was on Jerry. Okay, so some more context is needed for that. Ghost Strats on YouTube has lots of private. Okay, we saw that one. White-Head Sheepdog. Okay, so I think I'm caught up. With everybody. And we're about the halfway points with the show. That said, wow, I've had a long day, everyone. I have had a very, very, very long day. I started off this morning at 6 a.m. and I had a long evening. I literally would wake up in the middle of the night last night thinking about, I had to create a video, or I didn't have to, but I wanted to. I wanted to create a video for you good folks out there on using different C2s for not solving, but as a way to catch your reverse shells doing CTFs and thinking, that's a great way to upskill. And I thought, that could be a really good topic for today as far as what are some ways in which you out there are trying to put your hands on and utilize more intermediate to professional level tools in solving things like CTFs and working with things like CTFs, right? Have you thought about doing that? And then what would be some great things to do with that? Obviously, for me, C2s came right to the forefront of my mind. I'm like, yeah, right? Like, you have the ability to do that with these machines. And how much better would you be instead of just doing netcat shells all the time with going, you know what? I'm gonna kind of take the road less traveled. I'm gonna find a C2 framework. I'm gonna spin it up. I'm gonna get hands on with that. I'm gonna learn that tool. I'm gonna learn all about that C2 framework and vicariously, not even vicariously. Yeah, I guess that is the right word, right? Through that C2 framework and getting hands on with that, I'm gonna learn more about C2 and command and control and some red team operations stuff. That could be useful information for you if you're into that stuff in cybersecurity. So I want you to be thinking about that, thinking about how you can trade off those tools that are more focused for doing CTFs and boot to root and other types of challenges on TryHackMe and Hack the Box, and substitute them with the most pro level thing you can get your hands on. Now, I know there's a lot of pro level stuff that is absolutely free and used by everyone, beginners and pros alike. So I'm looking more for like, what are some interesting tools that maybe some people don't think about? Something I'd be interested in, says Ray, is learning more about DNS tunneling for exfiltration. Yeah. So does Cheezel do that? Cheezel and like ngrok, I guess, is HTTP. And HTTP is very common, but I want to say Sliver might do DNS. You know what? Let's go in there and take a look at that. I happen to have Sliver installed because I used it this morning to do that video. So let's fire up Sliver. I think it's server. There we go. And if we do help, let's take a look. HTTP. Oh yeah, right there, DNS. So that's a DNS listener. So that means there's got to be a DNS implants that's available. That lists all the implant builds. So you would have to like generate. So let's do help generate. And in here, let's look for DNS. It's probably at the top. Oh, there it is right there. DNS connection strings. Interesting. So there you go. You could jump in, grab Sliver, start playing with that. I don't know if it'll give me any more. So help generate --DNS. Yeah, so you would need to kind of get down the rabbit hole on that. Or maybe it's generate --DNS help. Oh, so it's generating an implant called help. I knew that wasn't right, but I figured I'd give it a shot. And that's a great like pro tip. Don't be afraid to get it wrong. Don't be afraid to play with tools and go, hey, does this work? Is this going to actually do the thing? I'm that guy, honestly, where I'm like, oh, that's not going to work. I just won't try. And I have to go, no, that's fine. You can do that. There's no law that says this is something you can't do. And, Igor and Alexei are going to come by with baseball bats and work me about the head and shoulders if I try this and it doesn't work, right? I don't know why I feel that way, but a lot of times I do. And honestly, it's a real problem. So yeah, that DNS tunneling is really cool. Plus, I think there are some DNS tunneling tools, like specific ones. Let's go look for that. DNS tunneling for cybersecurity. Let's just try that. Let's start there. Let's do some Googling. You got any tools? Command and control, data exfiltration. Data exfiltration, yeah. DNS over HTTP, encapsulation, detection and prevention. But what I'm looking for is tools. All right, so I guess I got to put tools. See if we can find some tools. Enterprise software security, best security analysis tools. What is DNS tunneling? Yeah, that's not. Is that what you're talking about, by the way? Or are you talking about like secure DNS or something like that? I could be going down the wrong rabbit hole for you. But, there was Unit 42. Understanding DNS tunneling traffic in the wild. That could be a good. Okay. Let's get down that road. Why not? We present a study on how and why DNS tunneling techniques are used in the wild. Motivated by our findings, we present a system to automatically attribute tunneling domains to tools and campaigns. This looks like a good article. Copy, paste. Bam. There you go. Code Brewer saying iodine, right? Yeah, we just saw that, I think, when I was looking at this in the Google results. Let's really quickly kind of skim through this. DNS tunneling with Cobalt Strike. Oh, here we go. DNS tunneling via C2. So there's some case study. Tunneling basics. This is what you want right here, kids. Attribution of tools and campaigns. So I thought I just saw there we go. Domain server, attribution, Cobalt Strike, DNSTT. There's another one. So there you go. I would highly look into that. It looks like a good place to start. Kerry Jason says, you need a shovel for DNS tunneling. You're darn right you do. You're darn right you do. All right. Let me check the chat. Cool. Cheddar Bob says, David Baumel has an interview with Jacoby on DNS exfil. And Chris Greer have some great stuff. Yep. Very good. Very good. Could you do a stream using something like Sliver to do a CTF? Well, RioSec, I've got you covered because be on the lookout. I have to upload it. I've got to create the thumbnail and everything and the description for it, but I've got to upload it today. It should be available sometime this afternoon, where that's exactly what I do. I have a CTF and I use it to gain my initial foothold into that boot to root system. Not only that, you'll see me do it with Metasploit as well as PowerShell Empire and Starkiller. So that is today's video. So be on the lookout for that. It will be dropping today. But you know what you got to do? You got to hit that like and subscribe button, right? And the notification bell so it tells you when that video becomes available. No Boris and Natasha. Fail fast, fail often, succeed more. Wise words, Wes Bryan. Wise words. Christopher Ryan Rain says, what are your thoughts on AI agents for ethical hacking and the effect on the job market? Ooh, you brought up a great topic. You brought up a really great topic. I'm glad that you brought this up. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate this. My monster tried to kill me. I tried to kill myself with Monster. I won't blame Monster. Monster is sinless perfection. So this week, I was going to do a video. Excuse me. That went right down into the vocal cords. That was fun. I was going to do a video on Kali GPT, which if you're not familiar, let's go check that out. Kali GPT. Kali GPT. And you can see in our Reddit r/cybersecurity. Oh my goodness, that it's closing up my vocal cords. I can hardly move them. But you can see that right there. Fake trend BS and so on and so forth. Yeah, so this was a hot topic late last week, early this week, somewhere around in there. This is their website right here. So if you want to play with this, you can. I did. Paste. Have fun. This, you'll notice that this is not the official Kali logo. What this is, and I believe this whole entire page was vibe coded because everything about this verbiage just screams AI created. But what they're doing is that they're saying it's a GPT that is trained on Kali data. So I did spin up Kali GPT in my ChatGPT free account just to see how it worked, to see what it did, see how effective it was. And I went at it so I spun up Mr. Robot as a VM because I'm like, cool, this should be a low bar, easy, right? Low hanging fruits. This should really let me get some hands on with how well this thing works. And the first time I ran through it, it did pretty well. I was like, hey, this isn't too bad. But I realized about, I don't know, halfway through working with it, I was basically saying, I know nothing. This was the scenario I created. I don't know anything. Here's the IP address of the boot to root challenge. Hey, Kali GPT, help me out with this. And it did not, it started off really well, right? The first time I ran through it, it was like, hey, try this and try that. I'm coughing up monster. It apparently made it into my lungs, which is fueling me, right? I will breathe better because monster is in my lungs. But no, so that was the scenario. I know nothing. I want to use you, Kali GPT, to solve this boot to root challenge. So here's the IP. What do I do next? And it told me, oh, run this tool, like run an Nmap scan, run this. And then I would just feed it the output and tell me, okay, here's the output of that scan. What do I do next? And it would give me suggestions. I would follow the suggestions. I would throw that output into the prompt and go, what do I do next? At one point it went, it looks like you're doing Mr. Robot, a very well-known CTF boot to root challenge. And because it knew what Mr. Robot was, I think that it was like just giving me the answer to how to solve Mr. Robot, which is not really what I wanted it to do. So I went at it again, and the pain. Oh, I'm so sorry. I just happened to glance at the chat, and the pain says, speaking about monster being in my lungs, it's got what lungs crave. Oh, Idiocracy. That is a fun movie. So anyway, I went at it again, and I was a little more selective with the information I gave it. I obfuscated and reworded things so it would not catch on that it was the Mr. Robot challenge. And then it struggled hard, like real hard. I didn't get very far at all. It got to the fact that it realized I was attacking a WordPress site and gave me good information about what is normal to attacking WordPress sites. But because the challenge did not follow a lot of the standard operating procedure of what a real WordPress site would look like, because it's a CTF, right? It did not do well. It said, enumerate the users. I'm like, okay, run WP scan, ran WP scan. Hey, it didn't find any users. We'll try this, do manual scan. I'm trying it. That doesn't work either. There are no users. There are no blog posts in this WordPress site that had anything. I cannot enumerate users with the techniques you are giving me. And it was like, sorry, keep trying. I'm like, oh, so it got stuck at enumerating users, even though it should have been able to go, because if anybody knows Mr. Robot, there's a play when you do like a brute force of the directories using something like GoBuster or Dirbuster or Derb or something, even running Nick2, it'll tell you, hey, there's robots.txt. You go and look at a robots.txt file, and then there is a directory for a dictionary file, which you download. It should have told me that dictionary file, use that you never know. Maybe that will be a good file to use to fuzz out a user account, but it never told me that. Only when I gave it the actual name that it was called like fsociety.dic that it go, oh, you're doing Mr. But I couldn't use that because it would know that it was Mr. Robot. If I named it anything else, it would be like, yeah, you're going to use it for trying to brute force the user, but you have to enumerate the user first. I'm like, I know, but you need to tell me to try to use it to enumerate a user account, but you never do. So I'm stuck. I say, I'm not stuck. I know what to do. It didn't know what. I'm going to stop because I was going to start swearing. It did not help after that. So there you go. That's my thoughts on Kali GPT and just looking at things like this. And I do want to go look at that. Let's go read that cybersecurity Reddit thread. What are you guys saying in here? So this was 2 days ago. So in case you've missed the latest wave of cybersecurity, quote unquote, innovation on LinkedIn, let me save you some time. Kali GPT is not some revolutionary AI tool integrated with our beloved OS. It's literally just a ChatGPT 4 chatbot written by a marketing firm with 3 PDFs slapped on it and a cringe prompt that sounds like it was written by Chat 3.5 itself. Oh, this is an apt description. Spoiler alert, it took one simple prompt injection to get it to spill all of that. The secret knowledge base, 3 PDFs, one of them Kali documentation. Who would have thought? The mastermind prompt, embarrassingly bad. Try to leak it and see for yourself. Also, not even new. It was made back in December 2023. It just went viral last week because LinkedIn, right? Because I kept seeing it in LinkedIn like nonstop. And some news outlets are full of clout chasers who repost anything with AI and cyber in the title without even fact checking. And no, it's not official. Offensive security had nothing to do with this, which we could tell because it wasn't using any of their logos or anything like that. And that didn't stop dozens of pages from hyping it like it was the next big thing and slapping out. This is, yes, absolutely. I totally agree that this is a very apt description of this thing. So just because somebody pops out something doesn't mean it's going to be awesome, especially just because they slap GPT on it or AI doesn't mean it's going to be awesome. You know, your mileage may vary with many of these different tools. So just be aware of that. But you know, you never know. The only way to find out really just like yeah, I can hear this guy and tell me that it's total garbage. But how do I know? Maybe I'm not as advanced as the person that wrote this article. And for them, it was too bad. It was too easy. It was too whatever. I want to go play with it. Build a sandbox, build a lab environment, and go see what it does. Kick the tires yourself. Maybe you find it useful. I did not. I really identify with this Reddit user of their assessment of Kali GPT. So, yeah, there it is. We can either save you the trouble, or you can go, install that GPT into your instance and see how it goes. Have some fun with it. See what it'll do. I actually did run some of the questions through Gemini just to kind of get a real sense of, and it was just as effective at getting me information. So yeah, there you go. I'll try not to breathe this swallow. So much more tasty than stinking like that ghost. It was so crazy. Did anybody? Oh, was I not? Yeah. Okay. Check the chat. Losing my mind. Like I said, it's been a long day, kids. So sorry if I'm a little out of sorts. What do we got here? Carrie says Kali Linux should be in the produce section next to cauliflower. Ba-doom. With the dad jokes all day. Hugh Freebie says, please rename your title to the video episode 32 instead of episode. Did I forget that? Thank you so much, Hugh Freebie. I will totally put that out. It's what happens when it says, would you like to reuse all the settings from the previous thing? And I'm like, yes, I always forget to do that. So thank you for reminding me. That's Bush League. I prostrate myself before you and beg your forgiveness. Ray says it'll be interesting to see how impactful AI becomes with the nation state actors actually use it for mass automated attacks. Yeah, it will be. And I saw there was some stuff in the news recently about AI actually attacking real, like current and real CVEs, and was able to do some stuff with it. I forgot what that, maybe it was in the Hacker News or something. Let's go looking. Thehackernews.com. There's always some good AI stuff in here. Ransomware gangs. App Zero Flaw. Let's see here. WordPress. Attack bypasses AI moderation with single character text changes. That's interesting. AI agents run on secret accounts. Learn how to secure them with webinar. Zero-click AI vulnerability exposed. Microsoft 360 Copilot without user interaction. ConnectWise. Where did I see that? Maybe it's on the next page. Maybe I saw it yesterday. Or maybe I hallucinated it. I don't see it, though. Man, AI, where was that app? AI attacks CVE. That was security one day ago. Maybe this is it. Echo leak. AI attacks, please. Thank you. Attack enabled theft. Oh, this is an attack against AI. Yeah, that was the Copilot one. Let's look over here. 40,000 security cameras exposed to remote hacking. That's not a problem. New smart attack steals air gapped. Yeah, we saw that with Jerry. AI arms race, deepfake generation versus detection. Fortinets. Yeah, I guess it's going to, I can't find it quickly anyway, but I do remember seeing something about it. But it's going to happen. It's probably already happening in some way, shape, or form, but it's going to continue to evolve. And as AI gets better at what it does, that's going to get scarier and scarier, right? But there you go. Let's see here. Cheddar Bob. I don't know how I keep seeing your posts, but it is stinking funny. Thou shalt not inhale Brondo. Oh, man. Let's see. Carrie has a dad joke. Christopher Rain says, thank you for that breakdown. The reason I ask is because there's not a lot of honest and transparent reviews and takes on AI and cybersecurity. It does seem like a lot of people are just very AI pro, like pro AI, like AI, you got nothing to fear. It's the most amazing thing since the moon, sliced bread, and Jesus Christ, right? It's like, I mean, it's a great tool. Don't get me wrong. I like it, but there's some troubling possibilities that are real and we need to take into account. We can't just go, it'll never take jobs. It'll never do this. It'll never do that. I don't know. I'm going to sit here and tell you right now, I do not know that is the case. I don't want to be a fear monger. Don't get me wrong, and tell you that, AI is going to just destroy the economy and so on and so forth. I don't know that either. Is it a possibility? It is a non-zero possibility that it does that. And that's the truth. What the probability of that is, I couldn't even begin to fathom. I've read some papers like AI 2027 that seem to indicate that might be a real possibility, a real probability even. But then there's others that say, oh, it's overhyped. It's going to be fine. It's just another tool in the toolkit. This is going to be the next step in human evolution and blah, 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 blah. Maybe it is. I don't know. That is my answer to this. I don't know. What I do know is I'm using it as a tool. And I'm preparing myself for whatever eventuality comes down the line. I'm learning how to use it as effectively as I can. I'm learning as much about it as I can by reading different papers, OpenAI and different researchers and things of that nature, playing with tools, what's agentic, just get my hands dirty with as much AI tooling as I possibly can. So I would recommend that you do that as well. Go learn about MCP, the MCP protocol from Anthropic. That's going to be a thing. Yeah. Just that's going to be how you future-proof for the immediate future. Is how can you incorporate AI for automation and tooling as much as you possibly can, so that you can say, I know that stuff, I can work with that stuff, whether that be in cyber, IT, or wherever. Let's see here. Since it's Friday the 13th, are you superstitious about anything? Because besides phishing links, no, I'm not a superstitious person at all. Other than the fun of it, right? I like it for the fun of it. It's like Mickey Mouse. He's not real. He sure is fun, right? Let's see here. Red says, hi, I've been working on what to do next. I'm familiar with a lot of tooling. What do you suggest to learn? Top 5 most important skills, i.e. AD, Priv, ESC, etc. And he follows up with for red teaming. That makes sense. Once you threw down with the AD privilege escalation, that makes sense. That checked out. But thank you for adding a little more context to that. That's a good question. So with AD stuff, you're going to want to be like super good, red team. So red teaming specifically, Cobalt Strike or some C2, right? Being C2-ish, like especially the C2s that are being used by most red team shops, which are Cobalt Strike, Brute Ratel, CrowdStrike, Falcon, right? Isn't Falcon? Nighthawk. I'm sorry. Nighthawk, right? Yeah, Nighthawk. And I know that those are probably out of the realm of most people's pocketbook. So Havoc is probably a good alternative to that. In the meantime, Starkiller, Empire, go that route, a viable alternative. And I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, Havoc and Empire and Starkiller would be a really excellent alternative to being able to get hands-on with Cobalt Strike. So that's probably where I would go with that. And then probably looking into cloud stuff, all the AD tools, right? Ghost Pack, Seatbelt, if you can get hands-on with some of that stuff, the Impacket stuff. If you haven't checked out 0 Point Security's Red Team Operator course, it's not like dirt cheap or anything, but it's not extremely expensive. I think the last time I looked at it, how much is it? I want to say it's like $300. 0 Point Security RTO. There you go. Red Team Ops. That's what it is. So Red Team Operation. Let's see here. Buy now. How much is this? There you go. So if you want the course only, it's 365 euros or pounds, I guess that is. If you want the course and 30 days of the lab, which I would highly recommend, 405. This is worth it. This would be a lab. This would be something I have paid for. I have this training, and the lab access. You can just go with lab access, right? I think they have the ability to just pay for the lab. Can you do that? I don't remember. This site is now read on. Oh, here we go. That's right. They moved to this site. I'll drop it in chat. Copy. And then it's about time to call it a day. Paste. There you go. So great training there. And you get their lab environment has access to Cobalt Strike. And all the labs you do are in Cobalt Strike. So that's where I would go. Bloodhound, obviously, getting, all this stuff is like having access to Cobalt Strike. And then learning phishing is probably a good way to go, especially against O365. Getting handy with like Evil Jinx, Go Fish, those things. That's going to be your red team bread and butter. So yeah, hopefully those are a couple of tools that if you haven't gotten some hands-on experience with, you can spin up Evil Jinx right now if you like, and go fish, start playing around with that in your own labs. Could be a lot of fun. I did it. If you need something to play with, I would suggest MailFence because it has 2FA, and that's going to be, so you can do the 2FA bypass stuff with Evil Jinx and Go Fish. That should give you the ability to do that. So there you go. Ooh, it is 11 o'clock. Hopefully that helps you out. Red says, thanks, buddy. No, thank you. Great question. Great stuff. I love that stuff. Stinger, Havoc, and Starkiller are great. Yes, Sliver also. Yeah, be looking forward to my video that I'm going to drop today. It's going to have, not Havoc. I was going to do Havoc, but I'll do another one on Havoc later. I didn't have the time to fit it in, right? Security guy, I wrote a cool blog recently. Would like to check it out on stream. I think it's cool research. Cool. Reach out to me on LinkedIn. If anybody wants to reach out to me on LinkedIn, I'm happy to connect with you people. That way you can do direct messaging. Yeah, man, I'm going to call it. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything important. This says, McTurtleman, I have just started out looking in the cybersecurity world. And I'm almost finished with the Google cybersecurity course. Good for you. Good job. Would you recommend the Sec Plus cert as a next step? Absolutely. Security Plus is a great first certification for newbies, great foundations. I've heard great things about the Google security training course as well, kind of in that same vein. So get both, right? And that'll be a nice 1-2 punch for you to have right out of the gate with your security training stuff. Ooh, I'm losing my voice, so I'm going to call it a day. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. It's been a great stream. I've had a lot of fun. Hopefully you did as well. If you got a lot of great value out of this, you know what to do. Hit that like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. I would appreciate it. And if you share with a friend, I always want to bring new people in, right? The more, the merrier. It's CyberCast IRL. We want to grow the community as much as we can, not because I'm sub-grubbing or anything like that. That's not what it's about. It's because the more people that are here, the more engagement that we get, the more cool perspectives and insights and knowledge that we can grow here. Got cool news for you guys in the next CyberCast IRL, so be sure to join me in that episode. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, keep hacking.